So Chris, what do you think we could have done better? What could have made you tell us the truth that night? What did you need to hear from us that you didn't?
Not really. I'm not sure what really goes to people's minds when they're in an interrogation room. When I was in there with you and Graham, I was just nervous. I knew I had done something wrong, and I knew you probably already knew or were going to find out. And it's just like, I've watched enough, like TV shows to kind of see like, okay, what's going to happen next type thing. Never knew if it was actually right, but I think it's just the horror of like knowing what you did and trying to tell somebody else what you did. That's what kept me from doing it, because I didn't even want to admit to myself that I had done anything. So I knew what I had done. I knew how bad and horrific it was. I knew how bad I was going to hurt other people. I just couldn't even admit to myself that I had done it, because I couldn't even tell my attorneys I did it until like 2 weeks later.
So were you trying to save us from the horror of it,
No,
or
it was just a matter of I couldn't admit to myself, and how could I admit it to you?
So do you think any amount of us asking you things different ways would have helped, or do you think anything would have helped?
I think if maybe you didn't ask about if Shanann hurt the kids, if you would ask the other, if something in that, a different order of question, maybe it would have came out a different way. Because that's the only reason I went with that story, is because that was...
Well, you weren't giving us anything else.
I know.
That was the problem. But so if we would have said, what do you think?
You would have said, I think you'd have probably had to, if the video didn't show them in the truck, you probably had to have lied and just said, we saw the kids in the truck. I hate to say you would have to, lied to get me to say what you wanted me to say, but it might have been that.
That we saw the kids in the truck.
When we were talking, there was a point where you just said, can I talk to my dad? Did you just want to tell him first?
I just wanted to, tell him that, that I loved him, and that it's probably the last time you're going to see me again, as far as, outside of a cell, pretty much.
You looking forward to him coming?
Yeah, because just talking to him on the phone, it's just totally different when you see him, see a face, It's like when we got on that little video conference in Love County, it was all I could do, just not to just break down on that phone, so it'd be good to see them.
What do you get to do when they're here?
Just like this.
Like in a room like this with a
If
table?
there's a visiting center, like down in my unit, and I don't know what it looks like, but I know they said it's like tables, and it's pretty much they set up a time and you get a couple hours. It's just, just in that little center, and I'm not sure what else is in there, but I just know there's tables. I think there's like vending machines and stuff like that. That's about it. But it'll be good to see them, and unfortunately they can't bring their phones in or anything, so I was hoping they could maybe show me a video or two, but I don't have for a picture. But they pretty much only let you come in with your ID. That's it.
Can they mail you still photos or anything like that?
Yep, they can do the still photo. This is sometimes they try to play a video over the phone for me, and it's like, it's really like fuzzy and crackles a lot, so you really can't hear anything.
Do you have any other questions for us, or do you ever wonder, I wonder why they did this, or I wonder why the investigation went this way, or...
I think the first time I was brought in, I think it was like the 14th, I believe, when I met you that night.
Mm-hmm.
You told me there was a bunch of other people coming in for statements. Was that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple people.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were a lot.
There were a lot, actually,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I
We had a
think-
whole board worth of people
Oh,
listed
okay.
and agents out.
Okay.
They didn't get the attention you got that night, but
Yeah, I just wish none of this had ever happened, honestly. It's just like
Yeah.
you guys could have never had to come to listen, you guys never had to meet me or anything like that. None of it ever felt real. Especially like when they put me in that suicide watch cell, and last thing that one of those guys said was like, "Good luck," and just slammed the door, and I just kind of knew from then on that was it.
The deputy said that?
One of the guys, one of, like, they call them the SOG guys, Special Operations Group in the Will County Jail.
Yeah.
That was it. Next morning, like when I got out to take a shower, I saw the newspaper and there was this big piece cut out of it. Just know what that was about, and I just kind of saw like my last name around, like, oh, it begins.
if we came back to talk to you someday, would you be inclined to talk to us again? Okay.
Yeah, they just took me off guard. I had no idea.
Yeah.
We didn't really want to tell you we were coming just
Oh.
because we didn't want you to have anxiety about us coming.
I would have had anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we figured the blitz attack was probably the best course today.
It's like the first time we met.
Right. Oh, you knew when you were meeting me.
I just did, yeah. You just don't have all your props here today.
That's right. It's our props, man. Those it's legit.
Sophisticated equipment.
It is.
Right?
That's right. Sophisticated instrument.
I don't know that that's going to happen. We might not ever see each other again.
I
But
didn't think we would, honestly.
your experience is definitely interesting. You yourself are definitely interesting. We see things in you that we didn't expect to, and we don't see things in you that we expected to see. So it's very interesting to us, and it's. I hope you can take to heart that today was a lot about us learning how to do better, how to talk to people better, how to do investigations better.
I mean, like, I had never talked to a police officer before, or like FBI, CBI, anything like that. So that was all new to me. Like I said, everything that I've ever seen as far as, the authorities has been on TV. So I didn't know like what to expect, especially when I got that interrogation room. It just felt like exactly what it looked like. Just like, you guys poke and prod and then leave. Come back in. It's like, give me time to stew, give me time to think, and it's just like, it works. It just really like, I don't know, just drills more questions into your own mind instead of like, just staying in the room and just asking questions all the time.
Mm-hmm. You liked it when we took breaks? Like, you think that worked on you?
I did.
So you were like watching videos of the girls at one point. Do you remember that? Them giggling and laughing and
Like when I was in the interrogation room?
yeah.
I don't remember that.
You don't?
I didn't. I thought you already had my phone at that point.
No, we didn't take your phone towards the end. Towards the end.
Okay.
That was weird for me.
And it's like when you put that picture in front of me,
Yeah.
and that's what probably made me do it. Because I didn't have a signal in there, but that's like the videos I had on my phone. It was just like, I wish I had taken those videos out more often before all that had happened. But that definitely got in my head a lot. I don't know where that picture was from because I've never seen that picture.
The one we showed you? Really?
And I've never seen Cece in that dress before.
Really? We talked a lot about that dress.
Yeah.
Is that just
And you were saying-
making it up?
I never saw her in that dress.
You were even telling us when she last wore the dress
About the
and
boots
the
and
boots.
Not that dress.
Those are her favorite winter boots, and she wears
Oh, the
them all
winter
summer.
boots. The winter boots, yeah, but that white dress was a little different. I've never
Oh.
seen that picture.
No, because you talked about buttoning it up. You said, I remember because she just wore it the other day and I had to button up the back and,
It must have been a different dress, but not that one.
huh.
That picture, was that in North Carolina or was that?
I don't know where the
Pulled
picture
it
came
off of
from.
Facebook. Shannon's Facebook.
So maybe it was while you weren't there or
Might have
something?
been, yeah.
Because you don't recall that, huh?
Because there's a lot of pictures I guess I didn't see when they were in North Carolina that my parents have. like especially like 4th of July and stuff, and had like 4th of July dresses on and stuff like that. I never saw.
Oh,
Some I had on my phone, but you know that white dress I never. Felt like they were like she was going to church or something. I just never saw that white dress. And Bella's little dress that she had. Her little awkward smile there in the back. Yeah, that definitely got in my head when I did that.
when we had the picture out there for you. See, and to us, it didn't feel like that because we
I know, I
really
didn't show
didn't
any
elicit
emotion.
any emotion.
I don't show emotion that much. It's like my dad. It's like we don't show emotion. Like
Were you fighting it down, or were you just not a guy to show it?
most of the time, I'm not a guy to show it. Like I hold it in as much as I can, and like in my cell, I've cried a lot, obviously, but like I'm not really a guy to show it.
Okay.
I don't know. I try to hold it as much as I can.
You were a difficult guy to read, especially at the house that day. That makes total sense now.
Because I knew it was like just because I was like in shock or just like disbelief or just like some people said I looked like I was a heartless, no soul person, soulless person when they did like the TV interviews or something. And I'm just like I'm just glad I never saw it. I don't even want to know what I looked like, what I sounded like.
But you were obviously feeling it then. You just weren't.
Yeah, just like
Showing it.
nothing registered at all. Everything was like just harbored deep down, and then like I think it was just one night when I was in my cell, it just all hit me all at one point. Not the fact that I was in jail, but the fact that like everybody was gone,
Yeah.
and none of it. I think if it was like like if something happens to your family, like in like an accident, like a car accident, or like something like horrible like that, it registers at one point. But if like you did it, I don't know if like it just doesn't register at one point. It's like in my head, it never registered.
Does it seem real now?
Oh, it feels real, like every
It does.
day. Like I see pictures, I just know like where they were at when they were doing that. When I first had like some type of hearing over the phone, and I heard like Frank and Sandy and Frankie and they were on the phone, and I forgot what kind of hearing it was. Something about like a probate hearing or something. I knew exactly where they were in the back. I heard the birds chirp. I knew they were on the back deck, and I just like walked back to my cell, just balled my eyes out because I knew exactly where they were. I knew how many times the girls were back there, and it's just weird how emotion is processed differently for me than everybody else. Like something like you said, if you lost your kids in the grocery store for 5 seconds, you'd be a mess. And then like for me, it'd be like I'd be panicked, but I probably wouldn't cry. I'd be like looking around trying to find them, but it's just like it just processes different for me. I never knew why. Never know why. I don't want to think I'm like a cold-hearted person. It's just a matter of just don't show it. Show the emotion as much as other people do. Even when the girls left North Carolina, her Shann's brother, mom, and dad were all crying when they left. And it's just kind of like I never really saw my parents get like that when they left. So it's kind of like I don't know if it's like you're born that way.
Like your family doesn't show emotion like that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, my dad couldn't really speak at the sentencing hearing because he said he was kind of like he said he was going to lose it. Like lose his emotions, like that really hit me. It's kind of like I never seen him like that,
Like vulnerable?
Like nobody really ever seen me that way either. And that's why maybe I just.
Was it ever like you're a sissy if you're like that, or was it just something you just never did?
I never saw my dad cry, so maybe it's just something that was imprinted in my brain that maybe I should never cry. Maybe
Was your mom like a loving mom, like a doting mom, and would give you affection and hugs and kisses? And
Oh yeah, she'd always ask me what was going on. Like she said, I was always hard to read. She never knew what was going on.
But did she still try and give you affection even growing up?
Yeah, she just she always, my sister was always a parent. Like, it was always like what was going on. She'd always just like, she was always open with me. It was always just, you know, closed off. And she always wanted to know what was going on, like how I felt. And I just like, no, okay. That's all I give her. Even if something was wrong, like I would have probably never said anything. Because like I just, you know, deal with it myself. But I don't know if that just growing up that way just kept me that way. Deal with things on your own, but then they build up so much that you can't deal with them, and they take a hold of you. You never thought, in a way, could take hold of you.
Do you think it was a result of just bottling up for so long?
Definitely.
What do you remember your dad saying in sentencing?
I remember there was a scripture. It was a 1 John 1-9, and then like a lot of it, their representatives said for him, and my mom said a lot. My mom spoke, but everything my dad had written down, the person said. But you know, he was talking about him going to Little League games and races and stuff like that, and going to being my coach and everything like that. And I was hoping that, you know, I could experience the same type of joy doing that for my girls.
I remember your mom saying she loves you and she always will.
Yep.
That was pretty important to hear.
I think at the end she said, "I forgive you, son."
Yeah, that was big, right?
Yeah.
And your dad, when we came here today, we were just hoping and praying that you would take your dad's advice. Do you remember what he said? I hope if you ever get a chance to talk, you can talk about it.
Okay.
And I think that's what today was, don't you?
Yeah, I think it was. I didn't expect it to be today.
Yeah.
So DA made some comments during that sentencing hearing about your emotions and having no emotions, or you remember all that?
Yeah, just like, you know, he lied to us from the start and a couple other things. I believe that's what he was saying.
What do you think? Do you think he was anywhere close to? What do you think of? Basically, what is your opinion of what he said in that?
I mean, it's going to be, you know, taking all his evidence and putting it into the story that he wanted to convey. And like, if you don't know me, that's where you're gonna portray me. Like, if you take everything from August 13th to now, like, that's how people are gonna know. That's how people. There's no other way people are gonna opinionate themselves about me, just by what they see right there.
Right.
They're gonna say, okay, they look at the guy that did the interviews on the 14th, and they see, okay, that guy should be, like, you know, on his hands and knees, like, crying his eyes out, and what's he doing? He's just, like, you know, he's just talking.
Right.
And they're just like, no, I know, and maybe got some information maybe from, like, her friends saying, like, he was cheating on her or something like that. He's a cold person. He was, you know, trying to do this and that. It's like, they don't know me. That's always going to be their opinion about me. Because, like, there was one church service, the only one I've been able to go to in here, and it said, you're not defined by one moment in your life. And I think that's, like, people are defining me by one moment in my life. They don't know, like, what happened before or what can happen later.
Right.
So I just hope that, you know, hopefully one day people can stop judging everybody. And there's tons of people in here that, you know, I don't even want to know what they did because I don't want to judge them. Like, you know, like, I'm not that person. Like, you know, they know what I did. I'm not going to ask them what they did. You know?
Makes sense. You did show some emotion during that hearing. What part did you think you felt most emotional?
I think I felt when Frank was talking about, you know, I didn't know what to expect when he first started talking, but, you know, he said I was the evil monster, and that rang in me, and he said I tossed him away like garbage, and that hurt. And, you know, when Sandy was talking about that video about when Bella was calling me her hero, and that triggered it a lot there. And then when Frankie was saying, you know, like, I'll never be called uncle again, but you'll never be called a dad again. That really stung. But, you know, when my parents got up there, just like, just hearing my mom and dad talk, you know, just like, they really couldn't look at me, but I just know, like, you know, everything they said, just saying they forgive me and that, you know, I'm still their son, no matter what.
Yep.
I know, like, even my attorneys told me, like, you need to show a little more emotion, because I guess the first time I went to the courtroom, I didn't know what to expect. I was still, like, new to everything, just in shock about what was going on, and they said I was just a cold person, just looking at me. So when I did the plea and at the sentencing hearing, it just, all of it felt just more real than anything.